We're following a growing firestorm of criticism after Steve Bannon, the former Breitbart executive who is now Donald Trump's chief strategist, senior counselor, broke his silence about his own and Donald Trump's agendas. Brian Todd is looking closely at all of the latest developments. What are you learning, Brian?
Wolf, tonight there are serious concerns about the fact that Steve Bannon is going to be guiding President-elect Trump's vision for running the country as his chief strategist and senior counselor. Bannon is accused of embracing a movement tied to white nationalists and anti-Semites. Steve Bannon, though, is pushing back tonight, saying his agenda has been misinterpreted, and he's crowing tonight about how he believes the mainstream media repeatedly underestimated Donald Trump and the people who voted for him. He says darkness is good. He says Dick Cheney, Darth Vader, Satan, that's power.
Is because we are very focused.
Steve Bannon, the rumpled 62-year-old who once headed Breitbart News, now has the ear of the president-elect, and many worry he will push the platform of the so-called alt-right.
We have, in our history, have never had someone like Steve, with the platform that he has had at Breitbart, come in to basically be the co-chief of staff, running the White House and running the agenda of the president.
Civil rights groups like the Anti-Defamation League and the Southern Poverty Law Center say the alt-right movement is just code for white supremacists and anti-Semites, and they say Bannon has to go. Bannon pushes back, telling the Wall Street Journal, quote, Breitbart is the most pro-Israel site in the United States of America. We're a leader in the reporting of young Jewish students being harassed on American campuses. On the accusation that he's at least loosely embraced white nationalism, Bannon told The Hollywood Reporter, quote, I'm not a white nationalist, I'm a nationalist. I'm an economic nationalist.
What Bannon says is that he is anti-globalist, anti-elite, anti-establishment, and that he's an economic populist because he believes that the system has hurt and hindered the little guy. It has nothing to do with race, religion, or anything else.
Bannon jumped on the Trump train early on, telling Trump last year he was a big admirer.
I said, look, people are leaning forward in these audiences when he was talking. Of course, we were mocked and ridiculed.
Now it's Bannon who's mocking and ridiculing the mainstream media, who he blames for failing to recognize the frustration of Americans left behind in the global economy. Quote, it's just a circle of people talking to themselves who have no effing idea what's going on. If the New York Times didn't exist, CNN and MSNBC would be a test pattern.
Make them part of the enemy.
Kurt Bardella, who quit Breitbart feeling it had become a mouthpiece for Trump, is now critical of Bannon. He sees that darkness is good remark as chilling.
I think that's very much how Steve views the world. The worst emotions amongst us can be weaponized and used to advance an agenda. And I think a lot of what you saw in the Trump campaign and what you'll see going forward is tapping into anger and fear and hate to try to move their agenda forward. And I think that's exactly who Steve Bannon is.
The Trump transition team did not respond to our numerous requests for response to that criticism, and Steve Bannon did not comment for this story. Wolf?
Brian Todd reporting. Thanks very much.